An Israeli fighter jet destroyed a Syrian air defense battery, killing at least one soldier while injuring another. That after a surface-to-air missile was fired from the Syrian side of the Golan Heights toward a military aircraft, which, according to the IDF spokesperson's unit, conducted a routine flight in northern Israel. According to an Israeli military source who spoke to TV7, the incident occurred yesterday evening when Israeli fighter jets conducted a routine exercise. Shortly after 9 p.m., a Syrian anti-aircraft system launched a missile at the direction of one of the Israeli fighter jets, which, according to the official statement by the IDF spokesperson's unit, the surface-to-air missile missed its intended target and landed in Syrian territory. In response, the Israeli Air Force conducted an aerial strike against the Syrian launcher, which was responsible for the attack. While the IDF stressed in its statement that it views any threat against its aircraft with great severity and takes measures to defend them, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu underscored in a film statement that Jerusalem will not tolerate any aggression directed against it and will respond with force.
הצבא הסורי ניסה לפגוע במטוס ישראלי, הוא לא הצליח. חיל האוויר בתגובה השמיד את המשגר שממנו נורתה האש. המדיניות שלנו ברורה. איננו מוכנים לסבול שום תוקפנות נגדנו, ונגיב נגדה בעוצמה ובתקיפות.
According to a Syrian military source, the Israeli bombardment targeted a military site east of Khan Arnabe in the Quneitra countryside, which is located adjacent to the Syrian border with Israel. While the Syrian source insisted that one soldier was killed and another was injured, the London-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights claimed that two of the soldiers, including one officer, were killed in the Israeli strike. Meanwhile, in Lebanon, the Hezbollah affiliate Al Mayadeen network reported that the Israeli Air Force conducted a bombardment by means of an unmanned aerial vehicle in the southern part of the country. According to the report, the intended target was a spy device that was planted between Wadi Zefta and the town of Nimeria in southern Lebanon. Israeli intelligence sources refused to confirm nor deny the report, and TV7 did not manage to unveil additional uncensored details. That said, Lebanese security forces are reportedly working to locate the remains of the referred-to spy device, and a Lebanese source revealed to TV7 that efforts are underway to uncover additional Israeli devices in the region. In other news related to Lebanon, a violent riot erupted along the security barrier with Israel near the town of Kafir Kila after the Israeli military reportedly installed security cameras along the Blue Line, which is the internationally recognized divide between the two neighboring countries. Some 15 Lebanese nationals clashed with Israeli troops who responded to the riot with crowd dispersal means. According to the IDF spokesperson's unit, two of the Lebanese rioters sought to damage the Israeli security infrastructure, yet failed to do so. The IDF further noted to TV7 that the riot dispersed shortly after the Israeli troops applied riot control measures. No injuries were reported on either side. Now to Jerusalem, where the legal deadline for Prime Minister-designate Benjamin Netanyahu to form a coalition government is fast approaching, with less than 27 hours left to solve remaining disputes and newly emerging hurdles. While Netanyahu's Likud party won 35 mandates, the same amount of parliamentary seats as his blue and white rivals, his widely perceived ability to devise a functioning coalition with the right-wing religious bloc, which is perceived as Netanyahu's natural ally, provided him with the desired task of forming Israel's next government. That said, after reaching understandings with most of his would-be coalition partners, negotiations have reached an impasse, threatening imminent failure that may result in yet another round of national parliamentary elections. The deadlock revolves around fundamental disagreements between Netanyahu's would-be coalition partners, particularly the ultra-Orthodox factions United Torah Judaism and Shas, and the secular right Israel Beitenu party. The reported dispute pertains to a controversial military draft law which demands military conscription of all of Israel's citizens, including ultra-Orthodox seminary students who, under the current legal arrangement, may delay their service if they declare that Torah study is their profession. While the ultra-Orthodox factions actively aspire to evade military conscription for seminary students altogether, a bipartisan consensus among Israel's secular parties demand an equal sharing of the so-called military burden. In efforts to resolve this dispute, the military formulated a proposed bill that aimed to serve its conscription needs without any emotional considerations. Despite a broad acceptance of the draft law during Netanyahu's previous government, which saw the bill pass a preliminary round of voting, the ultra-Orthodox parties have seized their leverage in coalition talks to force a compromise in their favor, practically revoking the military's proposed law. This political maneuver has infuriated former Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman, who made an election pledge not to deviate from the original bill. In a press conference from the Knesset in Jerusalem, Lieberman accused Netanyahu of bearing responsibility for the crisis after capitulating to the demands of the ultra-Orthodox parties.
אני חושב שכרגע באמת הבחירות מצד אחד זה דבר מיותר לחלוטין. מי שאשם בכישלון של משא ומתן קואליציוני זה אך ורק הליכוד. וגם כדי למנוע את זה אני מציע למפלגות חרדיות לעשות בדיוק מה שנעשה בקריאה הראשונה. לאפשר לחוק לעבור בהצבעה בקריאה השנייה והשלישית והם יוכלו לצאת מאולם המליאה.
Prime Minister Netanyahu refused to accept defeat, underscoring that there is enough time to find a solution that will respect the Israeli voters' wishes by forming a stable right-wing coalition.
אני מבטיח לכם שאני אמשיך לפעול בכל דרך, בזמן שנותר, כדי להקים את הממשלה בימים הקרובים. אפשר לקיים את רצון הבוחר, אפשר להקים ממשלת ימין חזקה, אפשר להביא יציבות וממשלה טובה למדינת ישראל. אני מקווה שאנשים יתעשתו, אני מקווה שיעשו את הדבר הנכון.
Adding fuel to the fire, the Israeli parliament, the Knesset, voted in favor of dissolution less than 1 month after being sworn in. 66 Knesset members voted in favor, 44 against, and 5 abstained during the first preliminary round of voting. The second and third readings may be held as soon as tomorrow. If passed, the move would compel the holding of snap national elections once again as soon as September. That said, in accordance with Israeli law, if Netanyahu fails to form a coalition, Israeli President Reuven Rivlin will grant the second most likely party to devise a needed coalition of 61 mandates to make its own attempt, as was pointed out by Blue and White co-chairman Yair Lapid.